Hey everybody, it's Chris Loud. Today I'm going to do a quick sketchbook painting demo where I show you how I find simple inspiration for abstract landscape paintings. But really this can be used for any abstract painting. So I'll show you a really quick video I took on a walk this morning and what I'll be using for inspiration for this painting demo. I noticed these eroded areas on a small hill and thought they looked a little like cliffs and gullies. I've walked by these hundreds of times and never noticed them before. And when I looked closer, they looked like little miniature landscapes. So here's some images that I took, and here is the one that I'm going to kind of focus this painting on. And here's a quick sketch of what I did with that. I didn't look at the pictures after I started. I just kind of utilized the sketch. And really, once I got going, I even kind of put that aside. I'm using Naples yellow, yellow ochre, violet, light olive green, Payne's gray, and titanium white. I wanted to use some kind of muted colors on this. I didn't want anything too vibrant. And Payne's gray was actually accidental. It was on my palette and got a little bit on there and thought, well, I'll keep going with that for just a little bit. So I don't use that a whole lot, but it is on there. I use a couple of different size brushes on this, but for the most part I'm using a medium-sized flat brush, a small round brush, and I will bring in a couple of blending brushes here to continue to work the background. And I also use a little bit of soft charcoal at the end. So something that I always have to remind myself is that this is an abstract landscape. So I don't get bogged down with details to make this look just like the source material. But you can find simple inspiration in almost anything for abstract landscapes and really abstract paintings by just looking closer at items and scenes in front of us, or even looking at the negative space around those items. I've done painting demos where I've found inspiration in a bowl of onions, cracks in the pavement, several of those actually, the design in part of a tree trunk, a chair with a blanket draped over it, a cactus, birds. I've even done one based on a picture of my son kneading bread. To be clear, he was making bread, not wanting to eat some bread. So we have to practice and train ourselves to look for simple inspiration. I try and embrace that simplicity. So learn to appreciate the beauty and potential in simple and ordinary subjects. Look for the kind of the elegance in basic shapes. The harmony in everyday scenes, or even just intriguing colors in common objects. I mean, sometimes the most mundane things can hold hidden inspiration once you start looking closely, and that's kind of what happened to me on this walk. I was looking for something for landscape, and of course I'm looking to the horizon automatically, and started thinking, I need to look down. I need to look at smaller items and see if I can find something else to inspire me, because I see that landscape, the actual horizon landscapes quite often, and I've painted those quite often. So today I needed to really kind of look for things I don't notice. So it's important to experiment with different perspectives and challenge ourselves to see objects and scenes from different viewpoints. Try looking at things from unusual angles, get close to them, or for that matter, step back and change your perspective. This can help discover new ways of seeing and interpreting everyday and more common subjects. It's so beneficial to continually develop your observation skills and train yourself to look at the details and the patterns, the light and shadows, the textures, colors and shapes of those ordinary things and scenes. And I know I forget to do that sometimes, and I'm having to remind myself quite often to kind of stop, and a lot of times I'm looking up, and I'm telling myself now I've got to look down and kind of look at some of the finer details. But once you start seeing that way, not only will you have endless ideas for paintings, but the area around you becomes so much more interesting. So I definitely challenge you to look at the spaces around you, inside and outside, in a little bit different way, and start noticing. And when you're noticing, you'll start coming up with these ideas for paintings. And with abstracts, it's great because you're not necessarily painting that exact thing that you're seeing in front of you. You're using some of the colors and the shapes and all those elements to try and pull something out, or for that matter, put something in to an abstract painting. But you can see I've made some big shapes. I have this light olive green that is kind of pulling you in a little bit now, and even the violet that I'm using is like I said before, kind of muted. So it's not a real bright painting, but I think there's some interest there. And again, this was a really quick painting that I was doing just as an example. And here I'm putting a little bit of soft chalk down and rubbing that in to just pull those shapes out a little bit more. I thought I would try blending a little white in the upper portion, almost the sky portion, if you will, but I didn't really like the way that looked, so I started kind of rubbing some of that off with a wet paper towel. So let me know in the comments what you use for inspiration, and if you have those simple objects, simple scenes, when you're painting abstract landscapes, or any other paintings for that matter. I'm always looking for good ideas for inspiration. I've had several great comments in the past that have given me wonderful ideas. And I'll show you at the end 4 orientations. And if I'm being honest, I think this is probably my 3rd favorite orientation of this. I kind of go back and forth on those, but I'll be interested to see what you all think. So I'm coming up to the final paintings here. If you like this, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos on abstract paintings and tutorials and things like that, feel free to subscribe. So here is the final painting, and here it is in a different orientation. This one almost looks like Predator. That was interesting. But those are the final paintings. Thanks for watching, and keep on painting.